you really start to notice like how much Mega Man 4 and I know other Mega Mans. Oh, it looks like we got one starting, and it looks like Riley hasn't started yet.
I don't know if that's that input delay that he was
It might
talking
be,
about.
yeah,
He
it could
might be
be.
just a little bit behind, but
All right. Well, we do got Rufio doing bright first here.
which
The
is
safer of the two. Yeah, it is definitely the. I would say safer of the two routes, but by all means, I mean the world record was taken about 2 weeks ago with it, so it's very, very, very doable if you're still trying to speedrun the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing the Pharaoh first, save about. I mean, you'll gain about 6 seconds compared to the bright first strat. If you do your movement right and everything's pretty much perfect, you can gain it, every bit of 6 seconds.
Yeah. And this is the room where it kind of makes the big difference right here with the little grasshoppers. Basically, they can either jump really big or really small, and that one was a small jump right there. You basically want all big jumps to go across so you can get the best RNG. But sometimes these guys just decide that they're going to do small jumps instead of big jumps, and it can kind of just eat your time without you actually having any like miscues or miscalculations of your movement, basically just going off RNG right off the bat.
Yeah, and those small jumps, that first section of grasshoppers, if those grasshoppers jump small, it can create a lot of on-screen lag and just really slow you down there. Didn't trip up VonRufiou very much. He got through it pretty well.
Yeah.
And VonRufiou going into the corridor now.
145 is not a bad door time there.
Not bad at all. I'm wondering if Riley will be starting soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
He's just letting him, take a little bit of a lead there for a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but we do know about his internet issues, so it might just be a little bit of a delay on his end.
Right. We do have the first kill right now for VonRufiou of Bright. We're trying to get the center skip here. I believe this also saves around 60 frames or more. I want to say like 70 or something if you get the center pixel, so you can save yourself a little over a second.
Looks like not Riley. Got it going here now. He's going right first.
There we go. So we will see a difference between these two in times, but just know that Riley just did have to start a little bit behind because of his internet issues that he was having.
Indeed. And you'll see different strats used here with the flash stopper and Pharaoh stage. It's unique that you can pretty much last that flash stopper, make it last the entire screen, because when you change your slides, the global countdown for it doesn't count down, and you can just take that freeze, all that flash stopper all the way through to the end of the screen.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how powerful that bright stopper is in this game. After getting it for the bright first, you get to use it obviously on Pharaoh for your second stage, and you can see the difference between Riley having to go through and shoot or slide underneath all of those little scorpions compared to Rufio, where he could basically just freeze the screen and just do complete, slide chains across. Right. It's a lot safer to do with the bright, but with all the things added together for Pharaoh first, it is 6 seconds faster. It is just a little bit more dangerous, more RNG added into it. A lot more difficult movement, especially in like the bright room. So you'll see like a big difference. He did take the rush coil over the big gap before getting balloon, just so he made sure he got balloon. So it does lose you about 2.5 seconds, but the 4-second differential is big enough for some runners just to go for the rush coil over the pit.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice safe strat to use, especially in a race tournament environment like this, because it ensures that you get that balloon jump instead of taking a chance and trying to make your slide jump take you the way.
Right. And it looks like Riley's getting a pretty decent pattern here. He didn't get too many jumps from Pharaoh, so that's really nice right there. And it looks like Rufio's keeping him in the middle. Pharaoh does this thing where he either does 3 sequences. He either stands in the same spot and fires, he decides to jump to where you are with kind of like a high arcing jump, or he tries to jump at you really fast. Obviously, you'd rather have him jump slowly at you, or you'd rather have him shoot at you. He can, you know, his RNG can basically ruin a run as well. He can jump around as much as he wants, but it looks like both of them actually had pretty tame Pharaohs, so that's really good.
It'd be interesting to see notriley if he decides to use the balloon strats in the Grasshopper room rather than the Pharaoh shot on the totem poles.
I think he used Pharaoh when he was doing his heats, but I know I saw him practicing today using balloons, so we'll see what he decides on once he gets there.
Speaking of balloon work, VonRufiou using balloons here for this ringman climb, this vertical here, is going to make that go by a lot quicker than using Flash Stopper.
Oh no, we got a little slip up there.
It's easy to do with those disappearing platforms.
Yep. Playing it safe here, smart. And we do have Riley going for the balloons.
This is very, very risky, but will it pay off? This is a bold move. Let's see.
Yeah. Looks like he got through cleanly.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Oof.
That is such a scary screen to do with balloons.
It's a very, very scary screen to do. Looks like we might have some technical issues with VonRufiou now. It looks like he's frozen on my screen.
He's just doing his ESPN pose.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, wow,
yeah, he's 410. That's a really good door.
Yeah, you'll see this with Pharaoh shot. You can have that charge up over his head, and what he's going to do, he's going to have Brightman run into that charge and still retain a full charge shot, and use that to kind of get Brightman down. And you want to offset his health with one smaller shot, so that way Brightman doesn't freeze you.
Yeah.
You know, his health value is at 16, 8, and 4 health. He'll freeze you, so you kind of want to offset that a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh. And Riley just magically jumped from Brightman to Ringman there.
Yeah, it looks like it's the sync, so it might be a little bit before they both get synced up. So it might have actually been they started at the same time. We just had some other issues.
Wow.
So hopefully it'll all pick up here. But yeah, Riley got through Ringman, probably the fastest I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a nice little trick. I never knew that clip existed. You know, he probably took some iframes and just jolted straight from Brightman to Ringman.
Right. So it looks here that he's doing the Pharaoh strats. It is a little bit more difficult to do the Pharaoh strats than the Bright strats on Dust. You get a little bit more lag if there's weapon drops and stuff, but it's definitely quicker of the two. It's just a little bit more dangerous, especially in this part of the room where it's called the lag room, where if you get any drops from any of these guys, it can basically slow your entire sequence down. But it looks like he actually didn't get too many drops and made it through pretty clean.
That was a really, really good lag room. Obviously, you want to kill those ladybugs while they still have that helicopter over their heads, because if they detach that helicopter, it could create a little bit more of a lag, like you saw there at the tail end. You kind of got a little bit of on-screen lag there for a little bit, but it's able to get through pretty clean.
It looks like he had a little mess up there, but he still got a decent sequence in there. So, and it looks like everything's back kind of like lined up pretty close, so that's good. It looks like they're kind of on par with each other right now, to be honest. Like,
yeah, not too far apart from each other at all, which is really good.
Yeah. And I believe out of the two, so Riley is a little bit more seasoned in Mega Man 4. He has been playing it for a while, but I know Rufiou has been playing extremely consistently lately. So, I mean, anything in these Mega Man 4 races can happen. I mean, you always say it, but I mean, it's so crazy how RNG and just like little things can affect an entire run. So, I mean, for them to be this close early on is always super exciting.
Yeah, and it's always crazy. Dustman could suck a good run out of you real quick.
super quick. Dustman, I mean, even last night, I'm pretty sure I got him to suck 4 times in a row, which was literally the worst, and you have to sit and wait on him. Even if you have enough health, like, it's really hard to actually, like, get a good pattern on him. Obviously, the fight can go so well if he decides not to suck, but I mean, that's the RNG, you know, of Mega Man 4, is it doesn't care what you want.
Right. Riley going into Skullman, where you'll see the one and only clip used here, the zip here.
Yeah.
Taking iframes to get through there, because in Mega Man 4, in order to zip, you have to have iframes.
Yep.
I think they learned from their previous mistakes, Capcom did. So, although it would be interesting to see if there's going to be some more zips being able to add to the speedrun using jet strats.
Yeah. I know a lot of people have messed with those. Yeah. People are finding some more things that are becoming useful, actually. I mean, it's kind of cool, even though it's a lot of small movements that people are finding that save, like, you know, 10 frames, but obviously in a game like this, 10 frames can mean almost anything. It's kind of crazy. I mean, that's where all the top runners save all their time.
Yeah.
So we got Riley getting through the long room as well. We just got the final corridor, which you can always kind of miscalculate this little jump here, but obviously he's able to take care of it. And
not Riley showing off how you can use that flash stopper to get you from one end of the stage all the way to the other.
Oh, it's ridiculous how powerful that weapon is, especially on all of the 8 robos after you get it. I mean, I think you use it almost every stage except for a few. It's kind of crazy how good it is.
Yeah. Doesn't hardly ever get used at all in castle stages. Sometimes some people might opt to use it in Cossack 1, but other than that, I don't think it gets used hardly at all.
I don't think it does. Which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
You see a game where people kind of use flash stopper so consistently, and then when it comes to the final, you know, 8 stages, you don't see it. It's kind of weird. Right, we got VonRufiou on the right too, and he got a little bit better pattern.
Looks like Skullman treating both Riley and Rufiou pretty well. Didn't give him some long shields, which is good. So he can give you a really long shield, and you just sit there and wait until he drops his shield.
Yeah.
We're in you.
So on Dive Man here, the process of being able to slide is not the same when you're outside of water than when you're in water. When you're in water, you actually have to complete whatever slide that you're doing, no matter what, unless you do a slide cancel. You can see a lot of the times players opt out of doing slide cancels and just walking the rest of the way, which seems to be the safe route to go about it, because you're not losing too much time, and if you mess up a slide cancel, it can mean an immediate death. So I've seen a lot of runners just ignore using slide cancels.
Ooh.
We got the first F.
Landing on some spikes. That's easy to do in Diamond stage. You can. There's spikes everywhere.
At least it's still a little bit earlier in the stage, so shouldn't lose too much time. And like I said, Mega Man 4, anything can really happen. So it is difficult to see something like that, but just know that not much time was lost. We got over that time.
Rufiou's got to watch his bright stopper ammo, because he could run out by the time he gets to the end of the stage. You might want to start thinking about different options for later on in the stage.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get some good luck out of Eddie. Riley having a really good dive fight right here. Unfortunately, Rufiou did not get... we got the center skip from Riley as well. That's a very difficult trick to get, but I believe it saves a little over 2 seconds, which is ridiculous. But
yeah, it saves over 2 seconds.
Yeah, and it looks like VonRufiou here is going, nice little back boost there to get the damage so it didn't fall into the spikes, and saved the flash for here. So that was very well done right there, to be able to save the flash for that last whale and make his way through. That was a nice recovery.
Both runners opting not to go for wire.
Oh no. Both runners, yeah, not going for wire. Of course. All right.
Rufio's got to be careful. He's got 1 HP. Can he clutch out this Dive Man fight?
He's got 1 HP, and it looks like he has a little less skull shield than what you would want to get a full kill. So we're gonna have to see him switch over to either Dust or just charge with the Buster.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to bust out the Dust shots. Maybe.
Yep.
Gonna have to do some fancy footwork. There he goes. Good job. Meanwhile, Riley taking some deboost off those shots because he flashed a little bit late and got a couple bullets on screen. So taking a deboost there and getting through it.
Yeah. This final room is always really scary. It's a lot of short slides. You got to make sure your movement's really good because you want to time out everything for the final jump right here. You got to get a little slide, shoot that guy, and get over. That's an extremely scary jump. Riley does it. Obviously, Riley does it and makes it look easy.
He's a pro. He does this all the time. He's got this.
He does.
Let's see how many dives Drill Man gives Riley. Hopefully, he just gives him none.
Yeah.
Drill Man can just be an a-hole sometimes and just dive all day long.
Yeah, it looks like we got a really good pattern. Oof, right at the end, but he should be able to get 2 hits right here and get him in the middle.
There we go.
Okay, we got it.
Kind of jumped a little bit to the right there, but too easy. Yeah.
Let's see. We do have. Nice, got the center skip as well. We do have Rufio coming up to this screen where if you hit it right when the screen transitions, you can get the perfect frame stop. Oh, looks like he's kind of psyching himself out, but he got it. He's good. He's good. That room, if you can get it timed perfectly when you switch over to that screen, you can actually hit the flash stopper and get all of the little turrets to be open but not shooting, which is kind of like the perfect pattern. And then you can basically clear them out without actually getting shot or taking any damage. It's a very close trick. Most people can get it, but it looks like both of them were able to move without getting it and still get through the room pretty cleanly.
Riley making his way through the first part of Toad stage where this rain will push you back and you gotta take your slides a little bit past those platforms and jump out of your slides way past your comfort zone in order to get through it because that rain will push you into a pit faster than you can blink.
Ooh. For Toad stage being one of the original stages that people would play first when they would first play Mega Man 4 because of how easy the boss is, the stage is extremely difficult, especially for speedrunning. There's so many different aspects in this stage that can basically, like the water flow on the bottom pushes Mega Man certain ways. So when you're sliding, a lot of the times, if you're going with the flow and you slide, you go way too quick and you go right off the ledge. It's a very scary stage, but it looks like Riley's pulling through it really well.
Yeah, Riley's just found his groove, it feels like, and he's just making quick work of these 8 robos.
Looks like we got a no dive for VonRufiou. He's not that far behind.
Not far at all.
All right, now this is a super easy fight. You just basically have to wait for the iframes of Toadman to drop. He kind of only just jumps to where you are, and if you time the shots perfectly like Riley did, you can basically interrupt any time that Toadman tries to use his power on you. So we got 1835 for Riley out of the 8 robos, which is a fantastic time.
I mean, I would kill for an 1835 8 robos.
Yeah, same.
Very good job.
Yeah. And this is the spot I was talking about. It looks like Rufio is taking it very, very cautiously, walking over most of those water streams just because those can be so dangerous and just knock you around without you wanting to.
Very smart thing to do there because, man, I've died in that room so many times.
Yeah, same.
Especially right here on that second Gary. There's a little pit there.
Oh, yeah.
It got me.
Yeah, same here. Oh,
You know, I've been able to commentate on a few of these tournament runs, and there's been a couple of runners who've given me small little heart attacks like that.
Yeah.
Just, whoo, you gotta take a deep breath.
Yes, absolutely. We got Riley going through the first room of Cossack 1 pretty clean right there, and then we have the Skeleton Joe room coming up here. It's a lot of particular slides and shots to take out these Skeleton Joes so you can slide through them, but any wrong movement or miscalculation of the buttons can definitely put you down into any of those pits with the guys popping out. So looks like Riley made it through there pretty clean.
Makes it through, get that last Skeleton Joe debut, or whatever, I can't even think right now. It's so early in the morning.
No worries. It looks like you got a little bit quicker triple balloon than a lot of people, are better than a lot of people in races that I've seen. I know a lot of people in that final ladder room of Cossack 1 decide to wait for the final ladder guy to close and reopen to go up there, but it looks like he opted to take the early hit and climb through and made it through.
What a really good moth fight. That was beautiful.
That was really good by Riley.
That is the perfect moth fight. You want to see that every time you go in there. That's awesome.
We got
VonRufiou getting through the first section here in Cossack 1 very nicely. One thing I hate most about Mega Man runs is ice physics. He's sliding on those ice platforms, man. Tricky.
Yeah. We got Rufiou going through the hard part of the stage again, and then we also have Riley come to the spike room of Cossack 2, which is a very dangerous room, but I know he's put in a lot of practice in this room. So let's see if he tries any more dangerous strats than we've seen him do before. Usually runners here take a balloon and then jump onto the guy. Looks like that's what he's doing. That's a little bit safer route. You can do triple balloons there to remove yourself from getting hit. It also is a little bit quicker, but it is a very dangerous triple balloon to put down there. So it looks like he opted just to go for the single balloon and take the damage boost.
Yeah, you see him a little bit low on health, but he's opted not to go for that safety health, which he's pretty comfortable with going into the square machine with this low health, so he should not have a problem. But
yeah,
if it was me, I'd have to take that extra health, because I could not go to square machine with this low life, because it's easy to die. And in the castle stages, you don't restart in the corridor. You gotta start in the last checkpoint. So
yep. That's the one dangerous thing about taking a death against a boss in the final 8 stages is that you don't start right at the end. You have to go halfway through the stage again. It looks he started off with a 2.
Yeah, that's a really good square machine start right there. Obviously, you'd like to see 1-1, but that's a low probability, very rare. So getting a 2 there makes you feel good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a 1-1 is a 1% chance. Just getting a 1 in general is a 10% chance. So getting a 1-1 back-to-back is very, very rare, and you don't want it to go to waste. But I've seen some people recently get a 1-1 and then mess it up, and it's probably the most demoralizing thing. Oh no, Rufiou.
Rufiou taking a death in that spike room, which is easy to do when you're using balloon strats like that.
Yeah.
You can just calculate your movement and just land on the spikes.
That room is very, very tricky. It's a very scary room, so it's very understandable for someone to take a death there, just because everything is so closely like all of your movement has to be so precise, and if one thing's off, it can just ruin the entire screen. So it's definitely something that happens to a lot of really good runners in that room. At least it's still close to the beginning of the stage, so you're not losing too much time.
Right, it looked like he got that extra balloon ammo fill there at the beginning of the stage also, so that way he ensured he had a little bit of extra balloons for the later part, which is good work now.
Yeah.
Too easy for VonRufiou.
Good final rooms there, yeah, absolutely. And let's see if he can get the same luck that Riley got. Just get through the box room boss clean and never have to worry about it ever again.
Yeah, not Riley in auto scroller heaven here.
Yeah.
It's not much you can really do to make this stage go faster. You're just kind of at the mercy of the auto scroll. But
yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people lose concentration, is just you're not able to go the same speed that you've been going the entire game. So you get to this stage and it starts doing the side scroller, and people kind of just lose focus, mostly because they're sitting and waiting, and a lot of people have made, you know, very wrong steps going in this stage.
Complacency kills, man, and I've done it too, where I'm just, you know, just dancing around, not paying much attention, and then boom, I fall off the platform.
Yep.
You know, so it's just it's tricky. Ooh, Rufiou, gotta be careful here. There he goes.
Heart attack.
Yeah. Got a little bit close to that hitbox. I thought he was gonna touch it. He was gonna reach out and hug old Square Machine, but he got through it.
Yep. Alright. Riley's coming up to the final leg of this right here. Get the double jump so you can fall right into the opening. This fight is another fight where basically if you have the right movement, you can kill the final boss basically coming around right at the top of the screen. Did a little moonwalk there for swag, why not? So you want to be able to time the final hit of the first cockroach on the top of the screen right here, shoot down so you can hit the second one right as he comes out, and he does it really well.
Very nicely done. Yeah, there's not much to these cockroaches. The only difference is whether or not they give you the small pellets or the big one-shot pellets. So other than that, it's pretty much straightforward. Same fight every time.
Yeah. Looks like Riley's just moving along.
Dr. Cossack stage coming up. Just one of the shorter stages here. You know, apparently I've been told this. I don't know for sure, but apparently there's a top route you can do. You can go in Cossack 4. A little bit longer, but
I've seen people use it.
People use it too, yeah. So, right. I was in utter disbelief that there even was a top route existing, but
yeah. Yeah, usually where it is, so right after this room is where it's going to be. Most runners either use Rush Coil or Balloon here and jump up this other side with the block that you can destroy with Drill. You can go up the other way, but it is longer. Obviously, if you're doing a speedrun on Mega Man 4, you're going to want to go the quickest route. So a majority of the runners take the bottom of the route, if not all. There may be a few who don't, but it might just be because they're not comfortable enough to take the bottom route. But yeah, it looks like he's going through this stage pretty cleanly. He took some hits early on that he didn't want to take, but the Cossack catcher is another boss where it's not 100% the same fight every time, but you can definitely manipulate where the boss is on the screen by sliding off to the side, and you can kind of make it a little bit easier fight for yourself. You do not want to get hit by him and have him slam you because he takes a lot of health.
It looks like Riley's using the American version. With the American version, Cossack at the beginning of the fight will just kind of hesitate there and stay there for about 2 seconds. You can kind of get a couple shots in before he starts moving, whereas the Japanese, he'll just move instantly.
Yeah, and it looks like he got a pretty good fight.
Really well done.
And we got Rufiou that had a decent fight as well with the cockroaches. Only one stage behind, so it's still right there.
Dr. Wily coming in hot with that infamous "I'm gonna break you" Mega Man line, which seems a little much if you ask me. That's a little bit. You pump the brakes, Dr. Wily. Pump the brakes.
It does seem like a little bit much. You've had 3 chances to break him. It hasn't happened yet. All right, you gotta chill out a little bit.
Oh.
All right. So if nobody knew, Wily is the actual final boss. VonRufiou will find that out soon. He probably doesn't know yet. Still early on in the stage, so he'll find out soon that Wily is in fact the final boss. This first stage, Wily 1, it's actually one of my favorite stages in the game. I don't know why. I used to dislike it a lot, but now getting used to it, it's actually a really fun stage. It is a lot of mets. It is a lot of more unseen timing going through this stage. If you can do it really well, I mean, it doesn't look too much different from any other, strats going through, but if you can slide and do everything really well, like Riley just did through that long room, that's a very, very difficult room.
Yes,
and he made it look super easy.
Indeed. Now, I know whenever I first started running this game at this stage, I absolutely hate it, but once you learn how to optimize it, it just becomes really fun, really visually aesthetic too, because like you see Riley just making it look easy.
Yeah. Ooh. He's using that new strat right there. Who came up with that, huh?
I'm not sure.
I did. It was me. I came up with it, and then Toad wanted to take credit for it. That was my idea. Toad tried taking it. And it's kind of cool that people started using that, though. But I remember he tried to steal that from me.
Yeah, I've seen a lot more people use that here lately than I've ever seen. So you're making headways. You're leading the pack. Oh no, VonRufiou headbutting one of those pinchers.
That's too bad.
Ooh. Oh, and a game over. Oh, that hurts.
Too bad. The only positive thing about that is you get the refill of all of your weapons going in, which can save him time in other stages coming up here. So like I said, again, this game, you can literally save time not even knowing it because someone else can just have a small miscalculation. So Riley is in the lead, but I mean, it definitely doesn't mean that this is over by any means.
Not by any means. It still can break wide open.
Yeah, Riley did have a good fight there. So I did see on the first rotation of Matt Daddy, he did give him the longer cycle, which is good, what you want. So he is getting lucky with RNG right now as well. So that's good for him. I know we got Rufiou taking the E-Tank too. That's a smart move. I know that there's a few different spots in the Cossack and Wily stages where you can get E-Tanks to move forward through stages. And a lot of the times losing the extra 5 seconds to get an E-Tank is definitely worth, removing a death later on, especially against like refights and stuff like that. So being smart and picking that up just in case he can pick up some time at some point on Riley here.
Yeah, I absolutely 100% agree. In a tournament race situation, it's always wise to go for a safe, quick E-Tank just to have in reserve.
Yeah.
Rufiou making his Cossack catcher fight part 2.
Yep.
This time he's wanting to avoid trying to give Cossack a hug because Dr. Cossack does not like hugs. Actually, I don't think any of the Robo-Masters or evil scientists like hugs.
Oof, got him.
There we go.
All right, we got Riley going through the final room of Cossack 2. Let's see. Oh, I was going to see if he took the back boost. But he took the route that most people take, is just grinding out and mashing and killing that first guy and sliding through and then switching over to Toad. Because you can actually, take a jump right here, shoot off the Toad weapon, and then basically just ignore the entire enemy life refill at the beginning. Which, obviously, in this game is a huge time save.
Now, you could have switched to Drill and shot him to disable Taco's hitbox, but he opted to go the faster route by switching straight to Ring and rocking him down that way because it saves that extra menu,
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing with Mega Man 4, and I know a lot of other Mega Man menuing well, and just like movement is such a big thing in time save because it is a very long game. So if your movement's not on the entire game, you can lose over multiple minutes just from simple movement mistakes. I have seen Riley just cruising through a lot of these stages, though. His movements looked extremely, extremely good. So unless he has some bad refights here, I see him kind of just cruising right now. He's looking like he's in game mode.
Yeah, he looks like he's locked in tight, and he should feel pretty comfortable with his ammo values going into these refights. So
yeah,
should be just another day in the office for him. Meanwhile, Rufiou getting through those Yoku block sections very nicely.
Yeah. Do you actually save time on the last screen of Wily too if you don't slide on the single blocks? You do lose time. It is very difficult those and make it worth your while, but it is faster. Those blocks, correct. We got Riley getting a pretty decent fight from Pharaoh starting off with the refights, and we have VonRufiou going in for the Met Daddy fight, so hopefully he can get some good RNG here. Skull giving a dumb pattern.
Skull can be honoring sometimes, but you know, you gotta put him back in his place. Let him know who's boss.
Now, a lot of these refights, you want to kill the boss, obviously, as quickly as possible, but you want to try and get the final hit on whatever boss you're facing as close to the teleportation device off to the left side, because obviously if you kill a boss and you're at the opposite side of the screen, you have to slide across, and that can waste up to 2-3 seconds. So trying to get the final hit on a boss in these refights towards the left side of the screen is actually something that runners pay very close attention to.
Actually, I think doing the single blocks versus using staying on Rush Jet for that last part, I think it does save some time. You're not going to save a whole lot of time. It's not going to be huge time save, but I do think you are going to see some time save because of how slow Rush Jet is taking you across the rest of the screen.
Yeah, we do have one dive from Drill. Let's see if we can just keep him on top of the surface for the rest of this. There we go. Nice. Only one dive. That's really good. And Toad again is a pretty straightforward fight. Just hit him once his iframes are done, and if he decides to jump, just make sure you move out of his way and move closer over to the teleport device, and should be good to go.
Riley just cutting right through these refights like
he really is.
Like butter, man. This I have a little missteps on ring fight, but he thought he might check for an E-tank, which he didn't have. So
yeah. I think he should be okay. If he gets a good pattern here from Dust, he should have a decent amount of health going into the final fight here. He might. Hopefully, if he doesn't miss any shots on the final boss, he should have enough Pharaoh to get through the game. Taking the health there, very smart.
VonRufiou using the drill to disable Taco's hitbox and get behind him and throw those rings. A lot safer. Yeah, it causes you an extra menu, but it's a lot safer, whereas you won't get hit by those flames shooting out of his nose or the balls coming out of the top of his head, so a lot more negotiable to stand behind him.
There, we see Riley switching over to Drill before the last hit of the first form of the Wily boss. Basically, if you hit the first version of that Wily boss with Drill on the last hit, you again ignore the entire life refill that he does, which also saves you time. And then that's the weapon that actually you use on him for the second half, so it works out. It looks like Riley's going in for, it looks like a mid-38 here on the final boss. Hopefully he can get some double hits here and clear it out pretty quick. We got VonRufiou going into the refights right now as well.
Getting a mid-38 in this tournament type atmosphere is really impressive.
Oh, absolutely. Just marching through that final room.
Making it look easy. He does want to be cautious about his ammo here, but deciding to do the pause buffer strats, which is smart, because he doesn't want to run out. Got the double hit there.
It looks like he has enough here.
Ooh.
Opts not to go for the double, but
better safe than sorry.
Oof.
You're smart. There we go. Got him down. 38-44.
Looks like, yeah. GG.
GG, not Riley. GG. Very well done. Getting a 38, man, it's so impressive.
45. That's a very, very impressive thing. All right, let's see if Rufio can pull this together at the end and get a solid time. It looks like around a mid 42, but hopefully he can just pull out a solid run here in the end.
Yeah, making his way through refights. Skullman trying to be a little bit of a troll by giving him a long shield, but gets through. Nicely done on a dive fight.
Yep. And now here again with Bright, you want to try and get 5 hits with the skull shield on him, and then switch over to Toad. Bright has this thing where if you take all charged shots against him, I think it's 16, 8, and 4 health bars. He does the freeze thing that he just did right there, which actually can be very devastating if you don't have a lot of health. But basically, if you get 3 or 5 hits on him with the skull shield, you can switch over to Toad, and you should be able to go through the rest of the fight cleanly. It looks like he might have miscalculated one of the shots, but he still made it through there at the end. And he still has one shot of Toad going into drill, which you want. You can shoot it off right at the beginning of this fight. It takes off only 1 health, but it actually saves you having to shoot him 1 extra time with the homing missiles, the dive missiles right here. So it actually saves a little bit of time because you have to already switch over in menus from, Toad to the dive shot. So basically being able to use that at the beginning and still switch over, you're not really wasting any time with your menuing, but then you also don't have to take that extra shot that you would usually have to take right there. So
yeah, Drill Man being Drill Man likes to be ornery sometimes.
Yep. We saw Riley have a little bit of trouble with this fight. Let's see if VonRufiou can go through and have a little bit more clean. This time 1 shot, but that's still good.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. All right.
A lot of plays, a lot of good runners right here with this Dustman refight can just make or break a really good PB pace.
Yeah. He can suck and then just turn the game to mush. So it looks like we got a pretty decent pattern, though. Only 1 suck.
Yep. Now I'm back to everybody's favorite sound in Mega Man.
I hear this in my dreams.
I have it set as my alarm clock.
Oh my god, yeah, you definitely wake up to that. It looks like we'll have to take a little bit of a different route here.
Yeah. Strange that he opted to use Drill, which only does 1 HP damage on the first phase there.
Yeah.
Had to shoot him a couple of times to get him back down to there, but got him that time.
Got through. Yeah, that shot at the end that hit him, that has a few times actually taken me out of runs because you have to dodge those final shots that he shoots, because if you die at the same time he does, you do definitely not get to move on to the next stage.
Right.
So thankfully he had some health there to take that. I always get like a little nervous when I see someone take the hit. I'm like, no, okay, you have enough health. Okay, then.
Yeah. I always try to grab that E-tank at the beginning of refight stage, just in case I run a little bit low on the Wily Machine refight, because I hate dying, getting that double KO to Machine,
Yeah, nobody wants that. Let's see Rufio finish off with a clean run here.
Making those caterpillars look like they're just nothing. Slicing right through them.
Right here, Rufio can kind of just do whatever he wants with his weapon right now because it looks like he has way more than he should. So he's being kind of aggressive, but he might have to look at his health and not get hit here. Opting to take the E-tank, very smart, because that 1 hit could take you out. And you're already here.
Very smart indeed. Good job by VonRufiou. GG.
GG.
Mid 43 is really good for a tournament time. That's
absolutely.
Got to be proud of that time, It's really good job.
Absolutely. Give it up for both of them. Give it up for give it up for VonRufiou. Both of them did extremely well. Riley was just on a tear. I don't think he had a death in his run, and he just had some solid movement the entire time. So, GG's to Riley for winning, but GG to both of them for a really good race.
Yeah. GG. Looks like, I'm looking at the schedule here, it looks like Darko versus Antlers is coming up here at 12 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you guys tune in for that. That's going to be the next Cossack Cup matchup.
Yeah. Got some good races. I think I'm racing right after that.
I'm looking here. Yeah, you're racing at 1 p.m. Eastern. So right after that, you got Wader versus Chrissy.
Yeah.
And man, this whole day is just stacked full. You got
it is really
Mello
stacked
versus Aurel at 10 p.m. tonight.
Yeah.
You got Barrel of Rats and Bennett's Prince at 5 p.m. 7 p.m. we got Resisting Frame versus Infinite Mystery. And at 8 p.m. we got Guy Next Door versus I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name because I'm probably going to destroy it. Jorge. I'm just going to call him Jorge there.
Jorge, yeah.
So, a lot of good runs yet to come, and I'm interested to see the rest of this tournament play out. Yeah. Good luck to you, Wader, on your matchup later today, and good luck to all those yet to come, and GG's to all those who've played.
Yeah, GG's everybody.
Guess that's gonna do it for me. You want to add anything there, Wader?
No, I'm definitely good. I'm just excited for all the races today. I'm excited for mine. Hopefully, we can have some good stuff moving forward. So yeah, I'm excited.
Excited indeed. All right, guys. You guys have a good one. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and if you do, name it after me.
Perfect.
We'll catch you next time.
Later, guys.